All right, so in all of the interactions that you've had with police, let's go back to the first time that they came out to your house. Have you cooperated with law enforcement during the course of the investigation?
Yes, I gave my statement of where I was that day. Yes.
And did you allow them to search your house?
Yes.
Did you allow them to search under your house?
Anywhere there could be a body or, I told the FBI and the TBI, y'all can come in here and look anywhere y'all want. Y'all start pulling drawers up, I'm gonna ask you to leave. You look anywhere a person can be, anywhere you want to look. Anytime they came to me, I would answer questions. Anything. Anytime,
All right.
jails, anywhere they wanted to question me. They would bring me off the work crew at a jail, and I would go in and talk. I knew I didn't really know my rights, but I knew I didn't have to talk to them. But I did. I wanted to help.
Do you recall hearing testimony about officers observing you in those early days vacuuming out your car?
I vacuumed out my truck all the time. If you looked at my vehicles, I vacuumed my trucks out all the time. That was a regular occurrence. You can ask anybody that knows me. All my vehicles were clean. I kept a shop vac at the house just for that.
What about the mattresses that were leaning up against the house?
So when Rebecca moved in, we moved all her stuff. I had a double wide 16-foot trailer. We moved all her stuff on that. And the mattress, I think there was 3 mattresses. She had 2 mattresses and the box set. One of the mattresses blew off whenever on 641 when we was coming. So we took everything off the trailer and stuff. And I went back and got that mattress. And she said, look, don't bring it in. We're going to clean it up and stuff. I don't really need that. It just makes the bed look higher. And so I was like, well, what do you want me to do with it? And she's like, I don't care. Just don't bring it in here. We don't have nowhere to put it, So I said, okay. So I leaned it up against the back side of the house. And every time I would mow or every time it would get dirty or something, I'd either wash it off or I would blow it off with the leaf blower because I was under the impression she was still going to use it. I didn't know, what to do with it. It was hers. I wasn't going to throw it away. That would have caused an argument.
Can you give me one moment, Your Honor? All right. So, have you had a chance to review some of the, first of all, do you know what an IR is?
I do now. It's the investigative report.
Okay. So, have you had a chance to review the IRs that were related to statements that you made to law enforcement?
I have.
Do you recall right around April 23rd of 2011 with them coming out to law enforcement coming out to your house?
What was the date again?
April the 23rd of 2011.
Okay. Who was the law enforcement officer?
FBI Special Agent Matt Ross.
Oh, that's when he took the pictures?
Yes.
Yeah, that's when I was all scratched up from running from the police in Natchez Trace. But it wasn't nothing for me to have scratches. I grew marijuana back behind my house. It's nothing but clear cut. And that was another, the time when they was talking about I ran behind the house. And if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Rainey also testified that he knew where my marijuana plants were, which he did. When they come searching, I had to move everything. I had about 5,000 marijuana plants when all this went on. And when Miss Bobo went missing, I moved everything outside. I had just got them started, and I moved everything outside. Well, when everybody started searching, they come through, I had to move everything. And when law enforcement came that one time and talked to me, that's what I ran around behind the house doing, was moving all the marijuana plants that I had there.
Okay. Did you provide your best account of what you did that day to law enforcement?
I did. I didn't tell them every time I used the bathroom, though. I didn't tell them, I was a drug user. I told them where I went,
Okay. Do you think that there were things that you did throughout that day that you didn't include in your statements to law enforcement?
Absolutely. But I didn't lie. I didn't, I gave the best, there was people that called that morning that I didn't remember talking to, that later on that I realized I talked to, like going to the river. There's nothing that happened that morning going to the river. I don't specifically recall going to the river that morning with Jason, but we went down there so much. I'm not disputing that.
Okay.
know.
And do you recall right around July 6th of 2011, you were visited by S.A. Dykes and Investigator Inman?
Mm-hmm.
Do you recall that?
I do.
Okay, and they came to your residence?
Yeah, I think it was my granddaddy's. I think we sit on the back porch that time.
All right, and did you give them an accounting of what you did
I did.
on April the 13th,
I did.
2011? Okay. I think they did you tell them that you had gone to the coon hunt or that you didn't go?
I didn't go. I didn't have no way. And I didn't go to stuff like that. I mean, when I was younger, I did, but I didn't go to stuff like that. I was a druggie. I was a drug dealer. Like I didn't go out in public much. Not a lot of people liked me. I had a known reputation in the neighborhood for being the local drug dealer and drug user. So, just I could go in a gas station and people would look at me different. Of course, I would give them the stink eye, or I would I gave them that perspective, like I wasn't the person to be messed with. And
Okay. So you were visited again by Agent Dykes on August 28th of 2012. I believe that was in the Benton County Jail.
yep, in the basement, in the investigator's office.
Okay. Did you ever ask for an attorney when you were speaking with law enforcement?
Never.
Did you voluntarily give them information?
I take that back. When I talked to Jeff Jackson, I think I had asked for an attorney at the end, but during the this meeting I didn't with Terry Dykes at Benton County. I didn't know.
And did you voluntarily sign a release for your phone records?
I did. Anything that they needed, anything anything you wanted my DNA, anything I could have did, I would have did.
Okay. Even if so would you have done anything that you could do, even if it meant?
There were so many cops in the neighborhood. We would have did anything to get the police to solve this, to get the TBI and the cops out of our neighborhood. It was so hard for us, drug dealers and stuff. We wanted the police to solve this thing,
Okay. Do you recall meeting with Mr. Dykes, S.A. Dykes on May 22nd of 2013, and I believe that was at the Decatur County Sheriff's Office?
Go into specifics on that.
There was an investigator Cunningham and investigator Meeks.
About the leather coat?
Yes.
Yes.
So you gave a voluntary statement to law enforcement at that time?
I did. There was a leather coat that I didn't know the specifics of what had happened or whatever, but there was a leather coat in my brother's truck. I didn't know who it belonged to. I know my brother did at this time. I don't think he had a girlfriend, and I was willing to do anything I could to help. And I called them in. I said, "Hey, look, did Miss Bobo have a leather coat on?" And they said, "No, this didn't."
Okay.
I was willing to do anything,
Do you recall again meeting with or speaking with law enforcement September? Let me make sure that I'm on the right one. Hold on one second. September 9th of 2013 with Agent Joe Walker. Did you meet with him?
I did at the Benton County Jail. He brought me in from work release. Yeah, I remember that.
Okay. And did you give him a statement about your whereabouts on
him.
April the 13th, 2011?
Yes, told him where I was.
Did any of your testimony change? Did you add any additional information to him that you recall?
Not that I specifically recall. Not that I recall.
Okay. Do you recall Mr. Walker saying, your name keeps coming up?
Yeah, I remember that.
Okay. So did you address that with Mr. Walker at all?
Yeah, I think I told him I'd made some jokes, made some statements.
Okay. All right. And what
I think
about
yeah.
on February the 28th, 2014, when you, that's when you
Today I
spoke
got
with
arrested?
Jeff, that's the day you got arrested. Jeff Jackson and Agent Lewis and Carter.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me about that interaction.
So, February 28th, I was with a girl named Trish Evans. She had a house in Camden. So, I had stayed the night with her. And that morning I was getting up, I was going to help a guy that owned a local plumbing shop up there. He's not sure his name. I think his last name was Farmer. I was going to help him that morning, and Richard Cottom went by my house and seen there was police everywhere. And I think it was Linda Kimball is the one that called and said, "Hey, there's cops all at your house. What's going on?" So I thought it was the local cops. I thought they had done sold to a confidential informant, sold some drugs or something. I didn't really know what was going on. So I called the Carter County Sheriff's Department. And I said, "Hey, look, what's going on? Why is the police at my house? What are y'all doing?" I said, "Zach, we don't know what's going on. It ain't us." So I call, and I said, "Well, y'all go back by there and see what kind of cops it is." So they went back by, and they said, "Well, it's got to be TBI." So I went on the internet looking for the number for the TBI. They don't really have a number, so I just called 1-800-TBI-FIND. And I asked them, I said, "What are y'all doing at my house?" And they asked, "Well, where are you at?" They wouldn't answer my question. I lied. I said, I'm in Lexington. "What are y'all doing at my house?" They said, "Well, we need to talk to you." And I said, "Well, I'm working right now. Well, you need to get here." And I said, "Well, I don't have a driver's license." So I hung up, took my phone apart, and I called my girlfriend. I said, "TBI's at my house." And I said, "I really don't know what this is about." And she said, "Well, what do you want to do?" And I said, "Well, I need to go see what this is about. This is, there's lots of law there." So I said, "I'm just going to have them come pick me up. There's no need in you driving." She didn't have no license. And so I called TBI back. I said, "Well, y'all come pick me up at the McDonald's in Camden. I'm leery of police anyway. So I wanted to meet at a public spot." So they came, and I called them back and I asked, I said, how many TBI agents are there? And I think they said 3 or 4. I bought everybody. I went in McDonald's, I bought everybody Sprites and drinks and sausage and biscuits and just I bought everything and got in the vehicle at the McDonald's with Jeff Jackson, and I don't know the other agent's name. I know Jeff Jackson was in the back. We leave McDonald's and they pull right in the Camden Bank parking lot. Tell me to get out, and then the whole time Jeff Jackson's got his hand on his gun. And I'm thinking, when I get in that vehicle, I thought I was going to get shot. I didn't know what was going on. He never took his hand off his gun. They pull me out. They search me, take my pocket knife, and we ride to my house. And I'm asking, like, what's this about? What's this about? And they make statements that my brother has made statements. I says, "Dylan, he's in federal holding. What's he made statements about?" And we get to my house, and it's a circus. Like, they had the driveway blocked off. They had the TBI mobile command unit in my granddaddy's front yard. It was a circus. It was a circus. And
So let me just make this, you voluntarily, you sought out law enforcement when you found out that they were looking for you, and you invited them to come meet with you.
I did. I called them.
Okay.
They had already knocked the door down, was in my house.